The man stood up. He was uneasy on his feet. Apparently, this new Sodabi was stronger than he had expected. He waved to his friends as he told them he needed to get some sleep. His new wife would kill him if he wasn't home soon. As he walked away, the flames of the bonfire slowly faded into darkness, and the laughing of his friends with it. He'd always been able to drink his fair share, but tonight had been different. How come his friends weren't drunk? Never mind, he thought to himself as he stumbled over a rock. He'd be home soon to sleep it off. He walked on, but something felt different now. It was as if a cold wind had blown past. He stopped and looked back, but there was nothing there. Strange. He shook off the feeling of fear and continued his walk home. He looked up to the sky. It had been a beautiful, star-filled night. However, he saw nothing now but clouds. That didn't seem right. But maybe it was the moonshine he'd been drinking, blurring his vision and senses. He continued on. The hairs on the back of his neck stood up. He couldn't shake the feeling that someone or something was following him. He whipped around.
I see you.
But there was no one there. Look at you, he thought to himself, scared of your own damn shadow. He laughed it off and continued on his way. Up ahead on the dirt path, he saw something on the ground. It looked like a small doll, perhaps dropped by a child on the way back home. He bent down to pick it up. As he lifted it to his face, he gasped at what was in his hands. The doll, it was him. He heard a voice from behind him. Sleep now. The last thing he remembered was a sweet smell as he passed out. Welcome back. Today I bring you SCP-4364, Let 'em Eat Cake. Please remember to subscribe. The man sat at the table, holding his shirt up. His body had many tattoos, but the one of himself on his stomach was the most prominent.
Thank you. You can put your shirt down now. And you don't remember anything else?
No. The next thing I knew, it was in the morning, and my wife, Bamidel, had brought me some hot tea.
The man had lost an inordinate amount of weight in the months since the incident.
Where did you find him?
The idiot was passed out on the road, holding some child's toy.
I told you before, it was not toy. It looked just like me.
Here, this is what he was holding. My doll. Just like you, huh?
She passed the doll to Klaus. It didn't look anything like the man sitting before him.
I told you, this isn't the toy. Somebody changed it.
May I borrow this? I'll bring it back unharmed once we've had a moment to study it.
Please, be careful with it. It was a gift from my first husband.
So, this man had his own little Saturnalia. Woke up not knowing where or what happened to him. The result of which is massive, unexplained weight loss?
In a nutshell, he eats and eats, but his weight keeps dropping. Otherwise, he seems relatively healthy.
Let me see the doll.
Klaus laid it on the pedestal before Pythia.
Let's see what we can see.
Here we go again. They were at a funeral.
Pythia, we're too far back. We need to see what happened the night he passed out.
The memories lead here. We merely follow what the doll wants to show us.
Around the casket stood Bamidella and Benjamin, both distraught and in tears. The man in the grave bore a striking resemblance to Benjamin.
This is the funeral of her first husband.
But the man, he looks just like Benjamin.
Brothers.
What? But she married Benjamin after.
In some cultures, it's customary for a woman to marry her dead husband's brother. I believe it's called levirate?
In her hands, she clutched the doll.
Thank you, Pythia.
Wait, the doll isn't finished.
They were on a dusty road. The moon shone ahead. Bamidella walked, carrying the doll in her arms. Up ahead laid a body on the road. It was Benjamin. She laid him down in his bed, gently placing the doll on his chest. She took a deep breath and smiled. It's as she said. She found him passed out on the road.
She lied.
About what?
She said she found him with the doll as if he had found that doll on the road, but it wasn't. She gave him that doll that night.
Why would she do that?
Do you remember that tattoo of himself on his stomach?
Yeah, weird. What about it?
Wouldn't you say the tattoo is of average weight?
Sure, I guess.
Benjamin was overweight a month ago, and now he's underweight. He was never average weight.
What are you saying?
The tattoo isn't of Benjamin. It's of his brother.
But why?
That's the question.
Benjamin sat on the table, his shirt off. He was all bones and thin skin. Hardly any muscle and fat remained.
What can you tell us about this tattoo of your brother?
I had it done not long ago. It was Bemidel's idea to honor my brother, her late husband.
I see. Her idea, was it?
Yes, indeed.
He pulled out a chocolate bar from behind him and proceeded to eat it.
Excuse me? I'm always so hungry now.
Please go right ahead.
Klaus looked over the information on Benjamin's physical exam. Everything appeared to be normal, except for the obvious. In the corner of his eye, he saw something move. No, it must have been his imagination. He looked back at the sheets. There, again. It was the tattoo. It was moving. It smiled, and as Benjamin ate, its stomach and entire body, in fact, grew larger.
Benjamin, your tattoo!
My what? What about it?
He looked down.
What in God's name?
Okay, so you got the plan?
Bamidella walked into the room.
You wanted to talk to me.
Yes, please have a seat. Good news, we think we know how to treat your husband.
You do?
Yes, even as we speak, he's about to get that tattoo of your ex-husband removed.
What? No, you can't do that.
Oh? And why is that?
I mean, it would be disrespectful to do so.
Oh, well, I think a little disrespect is fine if it'll make him healthy, don't you?
She looked down at the floor. So, I'll give the go-ahead to start the tattoo removal then?
No! Okay. I always despised Benjamin. He was so fat and lazy. Nothing like his brother. I loved him so much. He was taken from me too soon. And now, what? I have to marry that fat oaf? Fine. I did what I had to do. But not for long. The Boko, he said he could bring him back. But voodoo is not free. A life costs a life. He agreed happily to get the tattoo. He did love his brother very much. From then, it was only too easy to put something in his sodabi that would wipe his memories from that night. The Boko cursed the tattoo. Everything he ate would go to his brother's spirit to make him stronger and Benjamin weaker. One day soon, perhaps, the Boko can bring him back and return Benjamin to what he always was anyway, a zombie.
SCP-4364 is a 28-year-old human male of West African descent who answers to the name of Benjamin Foster. 4364 is 1.8 meters tall and 34.5 kilograms in weight. Evidence of extreme malnourishment and malnutrition are present, including ribs visible through the skin, extreme lack of muscle mass, and low levels of energy. 4364's appetite is self-described as insatiable, and it will spend most of its waking hours attempting to eat anything it considers to be edible. 4364 has not suffered any expected ill effects from consuming materials which would normally be hazardous to human health. 4364 has numerous tattoos, most notably the animate ink figure positioned directly over its stomach. As 4364 consumes food, this figure will take on a distended abdomen, grow in size, and attain a content expression. There appears to be no upper limit as to how large the tattoo can become, aside from the actual mass of 4364 itself. Surgical operations to view the stomach of 4364 were conducted on January 2018. It was discovered that 4364 lacks a stomach and instead has a circular opening of immeasurable depth only visible from inside of its body. A small depth tracker was dropped into the cavity. At the time of writing, the tracker has fallen to 4,187 meters deep. 4364 is to be held in a standard humanoid containment chamber on a medical bed. Daily peripheral parenteral nutrition is to be administered via IV drip. Any and all food requested by 4364 is to be provided immediately.
There are many obscure and poorly understood religions and practices still around today. Though you might not believe in them, be careful nonetheless to what powers they do hold. You wouldn't want to go through life like a zombie.
As always, have a care and remember to subscribe, like, and share, if you would. Until next time, farewell.